Happy Sunday to you all, and it's a happy My Fakeaway for your takeaway once again. Thanks to all of our Patreon supporters. This week I'm doing a take or a version of Korean namul, which is basically vegetable side dishes. Now, there aren't that many restaurants open at the moment in London. They are opening very, very soon, but one of the Korean restaurants, Arang, around the corner, was open, and I've got a couple of the side dishes here, a courgette one and a bean sprout one. Let's check them out. Chris, as always, on time. And I mean, it was difficult to get a whole selection of side dishes, but the idea is that with Korean meals, there's always lots of lovely side veg dishes that you just sort of dig into. Usually they're cold. So we've got your courgette here, which is very, very simply seasoned with some sesame seeds and sesame oil, and then some bean sprouts in exactly the same way without the sesame seeds. Here, I'm going to start with a steamed aubergine version of it. And by the end of this, we should, along with Arang's side dishes, have a whole plethora of them. So with this Chinese or Asian aubergine, I love the color of it. And I'm going to cut it in half lengthways first, and then quarter that and go for nice lengths of the aubergine. I'm just going to pile these in a little bowl here. That's just going to go straight into a steam basket. I'll steam that in a second for about 10 minutes. So next up, I'm going to show you exactly how that courgette was made. The courgette, you just want to slice into nice half rounds. So I'm just pop the courgette straight into the wok. What you want is for it to cook through, but barely. So you're talking about 30 seconds to a minute of boiling. You want to season your courgette whilst it's hot, so that it soaks in all the flavour of the sesame oil. Pinch of salt, a little pinch of sugar, a drizzle of sesame oil, and then some sesame seeds. Give that a mix in so that salt and sugar and sesame oil sort of soaks into the spongy texture of the veg. Allow that to cool, serve it cold. Bean sprouts treated in exactly the same way, just shorter amount of time. So 30 seconds maximum on the boil. And with bean sprouts, when they're boiling, don't mind putting some salt into the actual water, just so that comes to boil a bit quicker. I like to keep a little bit of a crunch on these, which is why I don't cook them for too long at all. A little bit of sesame oil, and if you want, a drizzle of light soy over the top of that. Toss them through. And then before I finish everything, I'll top that with a bit of seasoned spring onion too. You know, it's not just the main dishes in a restaurant that make your meal what it is. It's all the little bits, especially in Korean food, that really bring it together. So whilst that's boiling away, the aubergine can go straight on to steam, 8 to 10 minutes. Meanwhile, whilst the aubergine's cooking, you've got plenty of time to make up a quick sort of dressing for the steamed aubergine. So some of this spring onion I'm cutting into rings. The rest of the spring onion, nice and finely sliced. The finely sliced spring onions will go into some cold water, and they should curl up nicely. Want a couple of cloves of garlic. You want it nice and finely chopped. So that garlic straight in. We want a teaspoon of your Korean chili flakes, some fish sauce, not too much, and about a tablespoon of light soy, and again some sesame oil. Believe it or not, that little amount of sauce will pack a punch of flavour over the top of that aubergine, especially because of that garlic. Sesame seeds, they can go in there too, and then we'll just spread that over the top of the aubergine in the last sort of minute or so of steaming. So my steamed aubergine, after sort of 8-9 minutes, still holds its colour. Look at that beautiful purple colour. I'm going to take this dressing and just pour it right over the top. Let that steam for another minute. Whilst that's steaming, I've got my spring onions that have curled up nicely, and then my bean sprouts. I'm going to mix those two together with a little pinch of chili powder. So that's all done. I've got some kimchi as well to go as another side, and I'll show you how these sit nicely with a Korean main course. So, within minutes, I have a feast. These noodles are from one of our other Fakeaway dishes that we filmed on today as well. So you can check that video out. It's a spicy chicken Korean noodle dish. I mean, that aubergine, as I say, can be eaten hot, cold, and courgette, all this different nammul Korean veg side. Really, really simple. But the idea is that you have the sort of more mild vegetables, just showcasing what they are about themselves, with some kimchi on the side, and then more flavoured dishes like this, aubergine, which is still hot. Once again, thanks to all our Patreon supporters for following us already. If you don't follow us on Patreon, you can head over to the Patreon site, look for School of Wok, you'll find us there, and you can get involved with all the prizes and competitions and all that malarkey. So, if you like Korean food and like me, really love the sides around the main courses, tell us what your favourite sides are in the comments below. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bell, da-di-da-di-da.